इधर जो प्लेयर्स है उनका पगार देने का पैसा नहीं है एवर्टन के पास. 5 प्लेयर कहाँ से लाएगा? Hello everybody. Welcome to the show. We are coming to you right after the end of the Premier League season. Football खत्म हो गया है. What are we going to do with our lives, boys?
फुटबॉल नहीं खत्म हो गया, सिर्फ सीजन खत्म हो गया है. अभी ऑफ सीजन भी नहीं मिलने वाला है बिकॉज वी हैव द यूरोज एंड देन द प्रीमियर लीग विल बी बैक. आई मीन फुटबॉल इतना खत्म नहीं हुआ है कि स्पर्स एंड न्यूकासल आर प्लेइंग अ फ्रेंडली गेम नाउ in Australia. There's a post-season friendly in Australia. तो फुटबॉल कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाला है.
नहीं, it is all the football all the time. And I just want to say कि I completely missed your cynicism on the podcast for the last few weeks. तू नहीं था, थोड़ा खुशी भरा podcast हुआ करता था यहाँ पे. There was unbridled joy and optimism even though we have a United and a Chelsea fan in the mix because Mukesh, who is Liverpool, who should be depressed, who should be Dukhesh Manjunath as we call him from time to time.
He's so Dukhesh, he didn't show up for it.
Yeah, he was not as Dukhi. But yes, today he hasn't showed up for it. He is that Dukhesh today because Klopp is gone. And we'll talk about that, of course, in a bit. But Prashant, how was the season as a whole for you? खुश तो बहुत हो गए क्योंकि Chelsea तो 6th position में आ गई. Somehow, nobody would have figured that out.
I don't think Chelsea even figured that out. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think it was just what do you say? Like just it. Some of the results worked in our favor, like Newcastle losing form, stuff like that. United really not getting their form in at some point.
Yeah.
So it went a little in our favor. So still, it is better than what we did last season. I'll take it happily. I'm still very happy.
No, it turned out to be a very good season by the end of it. So yeah, I think there should be a lot of optimism for Chelsea fans for next season with Pochettino still in charge, or will he be? Will he not be?
Is he still in charge? Yeah, what's happening with that?
No, as for now, he's still in charge. But क्या पता क्या हो सकता है Chelsea के साथ managerial situation के साथ क्या होने वाला है किसको पता?
So funny thing is, I think there was some dinner scene that had happened with Boli yesterday. And at a press conference, they were asking him, the reporters were asking him that, you went for a dinner, what did you guys discuss? Did you guys discuss some future plans about this thing? Poch is like, guys, we just sat down for dinner.
Yeah.
What is your position about, are you going to stick around in the club? You guys must have discussed a lot over food. They're like, no, we just had dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying, what's going to happen. But what was the conversation then? Like, this steak is really well done. Like, I don't know what the conversation would have been because it's definitely not a quiet dinner where they're just not talking to each other and just on their phones. But yeah, we'll figure.
But it turns out that he is going to play. Again, it's not like 100% sure. It turns out that he might be playing a slightly crucial role in terms of getting players in as well. Like, who's he wanting to get? And that conversation is not going to play in. With Boli, is going to play in with the other owners as well.
Yeah.
Along with the sporting director. So, at some point, once this thing sort of mellows out, I think then they were going to have that conversation. Then it's going to go into that space.
I think in general, the ownership situation at Chelsea is an interesting one because even the other partners are not very happy with Todd Bowley's stewardship of the club as the face. So, वो भी थोड़ा sort out करने का plans are in motion. But yes, we'll talk about Chelsea in a little detail in a bit. Before we get on to discussing our predictions that we made at the start of the season, big news, boys, and big news for the listeners. Obviously, you guys, as in you two, to obviously know this because we've had this conversation. We've also put it up on our social media. But we have been shortlisted for an award.
Yes,
we have.
I mean, it's fantastic. 6 podcasts, of which we were one, were nominated for the Hindustan Times Smartcast Podmasters Awards. And we asked all of you, our dear listeners, our amazing, loyal, ready to vote listeners to vote for us and get us into the shortlist. And you made it happen, guys. You fucking made it happen. You guys voted. A bunch of you also messaged us on the Conflag Instagram and said, if we have to vote again, we'll do it. Always with you and all. I feel like a politician on this election day. इतना सारा support मिल रहा है, इतने सारे votes मिल रहे हैं. But thank you so much for all your voting, because what that means is we are now one of the top 3 finalists, and we'll be at the Podmasters Awards on the 30th of May. So I don't think Prashant is going to be there because he's
No.
in Dubai. Aakash is not going to be there because he's working, but it looks like Mukesh and I will be representing the Corner Flag family at the event.
Yeah, it's amazing. It feels so good to secure a top half finish.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've gotten that feeling.
Yeah.
And now we'll give it our all in the playoffs.
Absolutely. It is going to be fun. We will send you updates from the event while we're there. 30th of May, of course, which is just 10 days from now. We will be there. And yeah, hopefully it'll go well. Right. Let's head over to our predictions. Now, if you remember, at the start of every season, what we do is we all put in our predictions, what we think is going to happen in the Premier League season. And then we just keep it locked away in one corner of our phones, not look at it for the entirety of the season, only to have it open up on this episode, which is the end of season episode. Because there's a lot of interesting things that pop up. जो भी predictions आप लोग ने किए बहुत funny हो सकते हैं. And that's what we're going to do now. First up, of course, is the top 4 prediction, which we give in order. Because Mukesh is not here, let's start off with his prediction. Mukesh predicted City to win. So well done. Liverpool to come second, United to come third, and Arsenal to come fourth. Which is interesting because even Aakarsh's predictions were City to come first, Arsenal to come second. So going well.
I had
there.
Arsenal second. Nice.
Yeah. You had Arsenal second. United to come third. Thank you, but it wasn't to be.
Wow, I can't believe. Wow.
And Liverpool to come fourth. Prash, you had Arsenal to win, and you mentioned for sure in that little voice note that you had sent us during that episode recording. City to come second, United to come third, and Liverpool to come fourth. I just want to say lots of support for Man United from all 4 of us in this season, which just wasn't to be.
That's crazy, yeah.
I don't even know why. I don't remember there being any sort of optimism around United.
No, because Ten Hag's first season was quite good, won the Carabao Cup, finished, I think, third.
And it looked like they were just coming into shape towards the tail end of the season.
Yeah, and it did look like after letting go of Cristiano Ronaldo, after letting go of Sancho and all, thoda, he was cracking the way, thoda optimism aa raha tha, but
we didn't take into account the second season syndrome.
We did not take into account the second season syndrome. So yes, those were our top 4 predictions. Over to the relegation. Mukesh's relegation candidates were Luton Town, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth. So 1 out of 3 he has gotten right. Aakarsh, your relegation candidates again were Luton Town, Sheffield, and Bournemouth. So 2 out of 3 you're getting right.
I think we all give company too much credit.
Yeah, we did give company too much credit, and as we go on to the next few categories, we'll know exactly why.
Okay.
Right. Prashant, your relegation candidates were Luton, Forest, and Everton, which looked like it would happen.
Prashant. Thanks. Thank you. And also, it didn't. Everton, I just saw a stat today where 26 points was enough, and Everton had 26 points in December, so not even really close.
Yeah, but it looked like you were flirting with relegation again this season, especially with the points
full
reduction and
full on making out with it.
Yeah. Thoda flirtatious behavior was happening. And finally, my predictions were Sheffield United, Everton again, and Bournemouth.
Oh, thanks, Amogh.
Yes.
Thanks.
See?
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm just saying, we all thought, or at least 3 of us thought, that Bournemouth were going down. But they really, really surprised us.
Yeah, well done, Bournemouth.
Well done, Bournemouth.
I feel like Akash is at a point, he's like, क्यों आया मैं your podcast पे?
I'll tell you, there's only one answer of mine that I remember from the predictions, and that's the only one I'm here for, actually. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Is it the Haaland to get the golden boot?
Yeah. Bang on.
Right. Next up is we had to choose 2 teams to get Europa League. Aakarsh, we'll start off with Mukesh. Mukesh said Newcastle and Chelsea will get Europa League, which is
so who has?
Fucking
Newcastle
on.
and okay, nice.
Yeah.
It is sorry. It is
It's,
Chelsea and Spurs.
Spurs have
Newcastle
won.
get Conference
Newcastle
League.
missed it, yeah.
Newcastle get Conference League. So it's Chelsea and Spurs.
No, Newcastle don't even necessarily get Conference League, no?
It depends on
Depends on FA Cup, yeah.
Yeah. So as of now, at time of recording, it is Spurs and Chelsea who have the Europa League slot. So Akash said Chelsea and Newcastle. Mukesh said Newcastle and Chelsea. Akash also said Chelsea and Newcastle, but in an inverted format. So Mukesh said Newcastle to finish fifth and Chelsea to finish sixth. So at least he got Chelsea's position back.
Right.
Akash said Chelsea to finish fifth and Newcastle to finish sixth. Prashant, you said Spurs and Chelsea, so bang fucking on.
Nice.
Bang fucking on. In terms of positioning as well as in terms of clubs. Very well done. I said Newcastle and Villa.
Interesting.
I knew that Villa would get European football.
You
but
were rooting for Villa to really...
Yeah.
So in the top 6, you got only United wrong.
Pretty much.
Mm.
Pretty much. Right.
Nice.
Next up is the Conference League spot. One spot goes to the Conference League. Right now, currently, it is the 7th spot, which is held by Newcastle as it stands, because FA Cup victory for Man United will give them Conference League game time. But we all said, at least 3 of us, Aakarsh, Mukesh and I, all said Spurs to get Conference League. Prashant went a little differently and said Brighton to get Conference League. It has not been a good season for Brighton.
It hasn't, yeah.
No.
It hasn't. Right. Next up, we go to the overperforming team and our reasons for why they are going to be overperforming. Mukesh said Burnley because of company, and there was a lot of optimism about how Burnley would play, because they really blitzed the championship last season. Coming back up, the way they came back up was fantastic.
Right.
Company changed the identity of Burnley, what we are known to seeing as the Sean Dyche Burnley, completely changed that. But it just wasn't going to sustain itself in the Premier League, or at least it didn't, even though Mukesh thought it would. Aakarsh also said Burnley. You said Burnley with a caveat of they will finish mid-table 11th to 13th.
Oh, wow.
But you also added Brighton could also be equals for overperforming team because they'll go back to Europe.
Really shat the bed there, didn't I?
Yeah, completely shat the bed, did not get any of that right. Prashant said Palace will overperform.
Which, I mean, I feel like there's an argument that
They just performed. They just performed.
But now here's the second half of the reason that you gave. You said they'll overperform because of Roy Hodgson. That he will keep the ship stable and they will build from there. And in fact, that's exactly the opposite of what happened, because under Hodgson, they really regressed and they had to sack Hodgson and get Oliver Glasner in, under whom Palace finally started playing well, including a 5-0 slapping of the aforementioned overperformers, Aston Villa, who I think we can call the overperformers of
100%. But I feel like Prashant should get some points, because 10th place finish for Crystal Palace is not bad at all, especially the way they started their season. They've been on a really, really good run of form towards the end, and I think 10th for Palace is definitely overperforming.
I would love to give Prashant that trophy, but I haven't told you my prediction for overperforming team yet. It was Villa.
I remember one of us going Villa.
Yes.
So my reason that I gave that was win Europe.
What?
Yeah. So wait, did Villa play Conference League this time around?
They did, yeah.
No,
they got to the
this season.
They got to the semis and lost to, I think, Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
So they didn't win Europe, but they got a better European competition for next season. So I guess that evens itself out.
And they did very well, I think. I'm just double checking, but I think they got to the semis.
Yeah, right.
Good
so I think I get the
prediction.
trophy for the overperforming team, because yes, Villa definitely
Fully.
are the overperforming team this season. Let's go over to the underperforming team then. Mukesh started off by saying that the underperforming team for him this season would be Newcastle, because their hyper defensive football will die out. Is it fair to say that Newcastle have been an underperforming team this season, guys?
Yeah, I would say so.
I wouldn't say so, yeah. Would they?
I feel like there's a lot of caveats to it because they played Champions League this season, and that was always going to take a toll on their league form.
But they played Champions
And they
League
had an
and they
injury
got,
crisis.
didn't they finish bottom of their Champions League group?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying
So-
from the point of view of this is a team that is not like much like Villa will face next season when they play Champions League. It's not a team that's it's used to playing Champions League. They don't have the squad depth for it, and they had a lot of injuries post that as well. So typically, this is always a pattern that we see: a team that goes into Europe for the first time in a long time. We saw that with Brighton as well. Their form in the league tends to suffer.
Yeah, but Brighton got much further in the knockout stages, if I remember correctly. And Newcastle had 6 games early on, which were all terrible. They finished bottom.
Yeah, but no. But at the same time, Newcastle were in a group with AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, and PSG,
I forgot.
and they beat PSG.
Okay, sorry. I just have to backtrack and fact check a little bit. Aston Villa did get to the Conference League semi-final,
League.
but they played Olympiacos and lost to them.
Olympiacos.
It was West Ham that lost to Leverkusen in the Europa.
West Ham lost to Leverkusen. Yes, got confused with the claret and
Yep,
blue
same
of the
shit.
two teams.
Yeah.
Right. So Mukesh says Newcastle, which I think let's put a pin on that for underperforming team. Aakarsh, you said Brentford, that they will have a big drop off this season, and I think that's kind of true.
I mean, it's definitely true. Factually, factually, the most improved team compared to last season are Chelsea, because they had 19 more points than last season, and Brentford were 20.
Brighton would be no.
No, Brighton still dropped by. No, so Brighton dropped by 14 points. Chelsea was up 19 points. Brentford was
19.
down 20 points.
Oh,
So Brentford finished on
spot on.
39. They had 59 points last time. So yeah, I'd say spot on.
that's a big drop off, and that is quite spot on. Prashant, you said Bournemouth will be the underperforming team because they'll have lots of pressure, and the history that they've had in the competition is not very good.
Yeah.
They are a bit of a yo-yo club, or they tend to be a bit of a yo-yo club, and you did not have
that
any
did not.
faith
That did not.
in the
That
manager
didn't
and
age
Tony
well.
Iraola, and that did not age well.
Yeah,
That did not.
9
age
points
Or-
better off than last season.
I said the underperforming team would be Chelsea, and I could have got that right if it wasn't for the last few games of the season where you fucking steamrolled your way into the Europa League spots over Man United. But yeah, so I think
we
Aakarsh
only came up
wins.
because you wrote it.
Yeah,
We only
Yeah.
came up because you wrote it. That's
yeah.
it.
Chelsea wanted to prove me wrong. Mauricio
It was-
Pochettino
it was not
has a grudge against me personally.
Exactly. It's
Right.
not Palmer. It's not none of the performances. Just
None.
because you wrote
No.
it down.
It's just me. It's because they listened to the corner flag and that was their team talk. Right, next up is Golden Boot. इसका तो discussion करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Very quickly, we all said Haaland.
Are we sure
And,
Mukesh didn't
Aakarsh-
say Nunez?
No, he did not.
Or did he not have a debate about
No,
Salah?
I think
the Salah season.
No. I think we all said Haaland very quickly. Akash just confirmed that Golden Boot has indeed gone to Erling Haaland.
Let me
Yeah.
check. Oh yes, it
Uh,
has. By a margin of 5 goals.
Yeah, this is what VAR needs to be, you fuckers. This is how we check and make sure that we are making the right decision. Golden Glove, then. Let's talk about the Golden Glove. Mukesh said Allison would get the Golden Glove. Firstly, who did end up with the Golden Glove this season, Akash?
David Raya with 16 clean sheets.
Raya.
Right. Mukesh said Allison. Prashant said Aaron Ramsdale.
Who?
कौन?
वो तो नहीं चला. मैंने बोला था निक पोप को मिलेगा गोल्डन ग्लव, पर उसका अगर इंजरी नहीं होता था, if he wouldn't have wasted and missed so many matches, maybe he was in within a shout. But clearly Aakarsh wins this because he said David Raya at Arsenal.
And this is the reason I'm here.
Oh.
And this is the only prediction I remember very clearly, because I said David Raya at Arsenal when David Raya wasn't at Arsenal. It was well before
he
his
was at Brentford.
transfer. I could see that transfer coming because I knew Ramsdale was shit and Arsenal needed a top player, and I knew David Raya was the only one. So while he was still at Brentford, I said David Raya would get the clean sheet at Arsenal.
Yeah. Fantastic one. Fantastic
Yeah.
prediction.
Ooh.
there
Okay,
from
now I'm
Aakarsh.
leaving. I came to this episode just to pat myself on the back. Now,
Goal,
let-
repping the goalkeepers union.
Yep.
Repping the goalkeepers union for sure. Let's go over to the most red cards. Akash, who was the player who got the most red cards, and how many red cards did that player get this season?
So it was a three-way tie because three players got 2 red cards, and it was Yves Bissouma, Reece James, and Oliver McBurney.
Ooh. So now here's what's interesting about our predictions. We've got them all wrong.
Of course.
But we've got all of us said whoever we predicted to get the most red cards, we said that they'd get 2 red cards. So we've got the number of red cards right.
Okay.
Hmm.
So in a way, I think that we can take this as a hollow victory. So there's that. Mukesh said Harry Maguire would get the 2 red cards for Man United.
I am just going to check. I don't think he got a single red card.
He didn't get a single
No.
red card. No. Akash, you said Lisandro Martinez would get 2 red cards
I
for Man United.
Don't think he got a single red
And
card
nope.
either.
He did not get a single red card.
I'm surprised
at
I
all.
didn't say Ashley Young, to be honest.
Yeah. Prashant, though, did go Everton and he said Doucouré would get 2 red cards.
Again, I don't think he got a single red card.
Yeah. And I said John Egan from Sheffield United would get 2 red cards because I thought they would be the kind of team and he would be the kind of player who would get sent off for them. But
Well, there are 3 or 4 Sheffield United players that got 1 red card each, but he isn't one of them.
he isn't one of them. But Ollie McBurney from Sheffield did represent us in the highest red cards in the season, so I guess that is also a victory. Final category that we predicted was the first manager to get the sack. I feel like it was Paul Heckingbottom at Sheffield, right? Like he was the first manager this season to get sacked. It was Heckingbottom. I don't think it was Roy Hodgson or anything. Let me just confirm that.
Paul
just to
Heckingbottom,
be-
5th of December 2023.
Right. So you got that right because you did
wow.
like that Paul Heckingbottom
Wow.
would be the first to get the sack.
I'm
Mukesh said it
smart,
would be
yeah?
Roy Hodgson. You're very smart. Yeah. Mukesh said it would be Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson followed out the door not soon after Paul Heckingbottom, so almost just missed it. But Prash and I both went for Andoni Iraola. Again, no faith
No faith.
in the manager at Bournemouth. And it has
So
come to bite
bad
us back
because
in
it
the
came
face.
and bit Chelsea towards the last fixture.
Yeah.
So
Mental stuff. But yes, there we go. Those were our predictions. Lots of correct ones, lots of really, really bad ones. But by and large, I think it was a good show. By and large, we didn't have any outrageous predictions that...
I mean, United finishing 3rd, man. That's
yes, that
outrageous.
was the most outrageous. That was the most
Yeah.
outrageous. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's and my overconfidence with Arsenal winning it.
Your overconfidence with us winning it as well. Right, let's go to the Premier League because Man City have won their 4th title on the bounce. Is the Premier League a farmers' league, Akash?
I guess, I mean, apart from the Italian league and maybe the Spanish league, which league isn't now? It feels like money has ruined football.
Money has ruined football. Money ruins most things. I would like to get ruined, by the way, universe. I would like some money and get ruined. But yes, money does ruin things. It was a perfect performance, I think, from City. They just went out against West Ham. West Ham almost looked like they'd thrown in the towel before the game even started because Moyes said, "Oh wait, I don't think we can even beat City's under 14s." Which was
did
just
he?
a very
Why?
Yeah.
This is why
Why
I
would you
don't
say
miss
that?
Moyes. But that's his negging is his tactic. He's a professional gaslighter. I remember at Everton, I think it was before a game against Chelsea or United. I can't remember which of the two, but it was definitely one of them. Where pre-match he went, "Oh, this is like taking a knife to a gunfight," and I was like, "But that's not. I mean, what? Yeah."
थोड़ा तो मतलब
Yeah.
बढ़ावा दे दो players को, give them a chance. But within the first 20 minutes, Phil Foden scoring a brace and just putting everything to
Great.
bed, just being like, man, this is routine for us.
Yeah.
These guys, especially West Ham under Moyes, who's going out, they're not going to cause us any problems. The title is ours. West Ham did get a goal back later through Mohamed Kudus, it was. And it looked
Great
like they
goal,
had
dude.
gone... Yeah, fantastic goal.
And it was
Kudus
at
is a
that
player to
scary
watch.
time just before halftime. It's like,
Yeah.
ooh, momentum shifts.
Yeah. So to go into halftime 2-1, I think Arsenal also on the other side of the Emirates had a little bit of hope. कि यार कुछ तो हो सकता है.
And no, but they were also struggling because they went 1-0 down
Shit,
off when
they were struggling for
Idrissa
so long.
Gana gave free kick.
Dude,
I-
how did Raya just not move? He just froze for that, right? You saw that.
Because it's Idrissa, he's like, yeah, thodi na. When he started the run up, so I didn't watch the games. I was at work. I came back and I watched the highlights. I knew Ghana had scored, but when he made the run up, I was like, he's going to dummy it, and then someone else will take it. He's, huh? उसको clearance करना आता है. So Raya was also like, ये थोड़ी ना लेने वाला है shot. वो time pass के लिए खड़ा है uncle.
उधर Emirates में तो I think there were some Everton fans who started a rumor in the stands that West Ham had equalized. And Arsenal fans went crazy.
Yeah.
That is the fucking drama that we love, man. Last day drama is just so much fun. And Everton, I feel like, are the fucking jokers of the league.
Yeah,
They are
yeah.
the fans who will do this bullshit. Like, ये सब चिट्यापा Everton fans ही कर सकते हैं.
ये season
Because
कर सकते हैं
on
ना,
point.
because last season it was like, oh, we needed to be
last
better
season,
prepared.
Last season थोड़ी गांड फट
Yeah,
गई थी,
it's
for
been a
Everton.
while since Everton has been on the beach, so it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
sunny times.
Yeah. But Arsenal had to dig deep to beat Everton. No, and I mentioned this on the WhatsApp group as well. Okay, at the time that I messaged, Everton and Arsenal were tied at 1-1, and for the longest time in the match, for almost 90 minutes of the match, Everton and Arsenal were tied at 1-1. And if the score would have ended at 1-1, regardless of what was happening with City, we knew City was winning. But because of Everton holding Arsenal on the last day to a 1-1 draw in a must-win game, could we have termed this as Arsenal bottling it?
Honestly, no, man. I mean,
No.
but you know, everyone, I'm sure within 15 minutes of the game, the Arsenal players knew that City were 2-0 up. You know, I'm sure that news had leaked in. It was anyways a very, very, very uphill battle for them to climb. And as soon as you hear that City are being City and are just walking away with this, I'm sure halfway into the first half, it was very clear to Arsenal कि यार नहीं होने वाला.
But still, like, you still have to focus on your game and win your game, and Arsenal were...
You have to, but can you? I mean, after this long a season, after somewhere, I'm sure they went in to kick off having hope. But then when you hear that City against West Ham at home have gone 2-0 up, you know they're not going to give that up, right?
Yeah.
If West Ham scored early in the game, sure, there's a chance, there's worry, there's that QPR feeling. But if City have gone 2-0 up, they're not giving that lead up.
Yeah.
And as an Arsenal player, it just feels like, okay, it has happened. I feel like if it had happened in the 75th minute, we would see Arsenal winning 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 against a very, very, very average, below average Everton. But if the team knows that they've lost the title, it doesn't really matter. I'm honestly very impressed that they did dig deep and get that winner in the 90th minute. And I think that speaks volumes about the mental strength that Mikel Arteta has instilled in them.
Aakarsh, Everton were also not included in the Premier League's end of season animated montage, which featured all the highlights from the season. And I think you have a few words to say about that.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what to say. I feel like I've been saying this bias exists for very long. And this isn't the first time it's happened this season, right? Earlier in this season, when Everton were on a great run of form, I remember bringing up how the Premier League put out an official post on Instagram saying most informed teams, and it was the top 5 informed teams. Mathematically, Everton were second, but they had been ignored out of that. Recently, there was a time when the Premier League table still said that Everton had been docked 10 points for profit and sustainability issues. They really don't like Everton. I think it's very, very evident. I mean, there's 20 teams, and if you include 19, but don't include the one that has had the most dramatic season, I would say, in Premier League history, with two 2 points deductions and flirting with relegation, still managing to save it, knocking, as Prashant mentioned in our corner flag group, being the team that sort of ended Klopp and Liverpool's title charge.
Yeah, man.
It's been a season of ups and downs, and to not even have them in that montage just makes me feel like it's so evident. It's so absolutely obvious, and Everton don't get, and it all sort of adds up, right? Everton are always have consistently been the team that gets the fewest penalties, fewest red cards to the opposing teams. There is a strong bias in the referees. This is something that referees have admitted. It's like it feels like, oh yeah, no doy.
Right. I mean, let's see how the Premier League plans of relegating Everton next season go. I think Everton are the kind of club who will keep fighting tooth and nail, and they will keep foiling the Premier League's plans, because if this were a movie, the Premier League is the big bad villain and Everton are clearly the underdog good guy, and we are all rooting for them, because like this is just
I mean, fuck you guys. Both of you said that they were going to go down this season.
Yeah,
don't tell me you're rooting for them.
No, they were quite shit, but now with the way
they're
played this season,
mathematically they've actually finished 11th. If you just on the pitch, if you look at it, Sean Dyche has made this team finish 11th with 48 points, which is just unbelievable. But not good enough to be in the Premier League's end of season highlights, clearly.
Absolutely. I mean, you're good enough to be in the Premier League, so I think that is a bigger victory than being a part of an animated video.
We'll take it.
Right. On that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll answer some of your questions. We'll talk about United season as a whole and all the managers who are leaving. A tearful goodbye to Klopp. Haha, not. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we begin the second half with your questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
Okay, so before we go into questions, I want to thank Pratik for that amazing question that he'd asked us last week, which was the perfect Venn diagram of my nerdiness of Harry Potter meets football. And thank you for your very, very kind and sweet comment. And I have missed you too.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Thank you for writing in, Pratik.
Send some more questions. The first question is by, we're going to say it by Ashwin040. He says, I believe in Edwards, so in slot we must trust Mukesh. I wish Nunez becomes better next season.
I think it doesn't look like Nunez is going to be at Liverpool next season, with him taking all the Liverpool-related pictures off his Instagram, not applauding Klopp in the Guard of Honor after the game last night. It doesn't look like he's going to be there to say he's not enjoyed his time at Liverpool.
Also, I think we are all kind of on the same page where we think that Slot is not going to have a great season, right?
Arne, not.
Yes, yes, exactly that.
I really do hope Nunez improves, but at some other Premier League team, because that would be amazing. If he's like suddenly going neck to neck with Haaland, but just not at Liverpool, that would be amazing.
It's funny you say that, because yesterday after the games got done, I was watching, I saw the, on social media, whatever, you see photos, and I saw a photo of Havertz on the pitch and he's crying over there. Go to the comments, and one comment says, it's funny, we never saw him cry at Chelsea. There's a reason why, because, well, he loves the club, he performs better over there, guys.
Yeah. Also, Chelsea never put him in a position where he'd be in that title winning possible scenario.
The next question is by Mehta Ishan. He says, top 5 transfer predictions for your respective clubs.
Oh, transfers 5.
इधर जो प्लेयर्स है उनका पगार देने का पैसा नहीं है एवर्टन के पास. 5 प्लेयर कहाँ से लाएगा? I think the best transfer for Everton right now for you would be the transfer back of all the deducted points.
I mean, sadly, at the end of it all, one of the top 5 transfers will end up being giving Ashley Young an extension, because वैसा ही situation है.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the Premier League found that Everton did not actually break any profit and sustainability rules, and for next season have to give them how many points have they docked? 6 points at the
8.
end of it.
6
8
plus
points in the
2.
end. 8 points have been docked in the end. Wouldn't it be amazing if at the start of next season Everton start with plus 8 points? Just
That
start
would
the
be-
league
क्या
at
सपने
the
दिखा रहा
top
है?
of
Listen,
the table.
it's हाँ
क्या
क्या
सपने
सपने
दिखा
दिखा रहा है? It's Everton. What will actually happen is Everton will start with a -9 points because they have gone into administration by then. You know, there was a part of me that was thinking, "Ke yaar, Everton's anyways like in such a bad situation." At some point, it was very clear that we had more than a 10-point cushion between relegation and us. I was like, go into administration now and you take the heat
Yeah,
because I feel like next season might be that.
yeah, yeah. Fair.
But so
I
my
mean-
transfer predictions for Everton to answer the question would be that Everton do get sold somewhere in the summer to someone good or bad. I don't know. Jared Branthwaite will be sold. Amadou Onana will be sold. There will be suitors for Pickford and he will stay. Bus, we don't have any saleable assets though. Bus.
I feel like for United there is Jean-Claire Todibo, who is a centre half from Lille, who is very highly rated and highly regarded as the centre back solution to our centre back problems. So maybe that is an interesting one. But I'd also be very happy with Jared Branthwaite. Like you said, Everton might look to sell him, and United will probably look to buy him.
Yes, you can look to buy him from outside the window. So window shopping, khayali pulao tu kha sakta hai. No chance he's going to United.
Why not?
Because he's made for bigger, better things. He'll go to City and be like the next Johnstone vibes. I will not be surprised if he goes to Real Madrid because I know that Ancelotti really, really, really admires him. But if you're being quoted by teams like City and Real Madrid, which is what I think will end up happening, United's not someone that's really in the picture. However, there have been rumors that United want to use Harry Maguire as a bargaining chip in this transfer.
That would be fun. Harry Maguire at Everton. I think perfect club for him.
If he takes like an 80% pay cut,
that's
maybe.
No chance.
Chelsea का क्या प्रशांत?
Chelsea, I mean, so I know they're planning to buy a new player, planning to get a new player. Why do they want to do this? We already have a huge squad. They should start getting rid of somebody. I know Trevor Chalobah is on the market. They've put in, I think they've placed him for 25-30 or something. So it would be nice to get rid of some of the squad. But again, at this point, it's all after the conversation after the sporting director.
Yeah.
There is no real concrete discussions about players. It is just all up in the air.
I can see Chelsea giving a lot of players on loans to Everton's and maybe a Brentford. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
That's likely to happen. The next question is by Nirbhay2709. He says, what does the winner of the FPL mini league get?
Yes. So Nirbhay, thanks for reaching out to us. We will announce what you get next week when we do next week's episode. We're just trying to put together something interesting for you, and we'll also get you on the show very, very soon because that's what we do. We haven't got last season's FPL winner on the show yet, Gunty. We are still trying to figure out when we can get him on the show, but we'll make that happen first and then we'll get you on the show too as well. But congratulations for winning the Conflag FPL Mini League.
Super.
Congratulations. And basically in one liner, Amogh's answer is that hum log itna prepared nahi hai. Now that the season is over, we'll figure out what to do.
We should get the winners to actually predict the next
FPL
top
winner.
fours, and forget their next FPL winners, but I'm seeing the top fours in the Europa leagues and who do they think, and probably have their understanding because हम लोग तो ऐसे हवे में तीर मार रहे. They are FPL winners because of FPL winners. Anyway, the last one is by Fazil Banas Abat. Fazil Bana. I'm not getting this right. I'm not getting this right. Fazil Abbas Banatwala. Yes.
Nice. Well done.
He says, भाई एरिक टेन हार्ट का क्या करना है?
कुछ नहीं, रखो उसको जॉब में, लेने दो उसको एक और सीजन, लास्ट सीजन है, वो सीजन अच्छा नहीं गया तो anyway he is out of contract, don't extend the contract, look out for a new manager, don't sack him and pay him severance, give him another go, let him run out
And
his contract.
yeah, and it'll be a good year for him because no Europe. I mean, let's
Yeah.
be honest, they're not winning the FA Cup, so no Europe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he can concentrate on the league, and that usually helps a team in transition. So
Yeah.
might
And
help.
and it'll be the first full season under new ownership, so there could be a lot more input from sporting director, a lot more input from CEO, a lot more cohesiveness in the way things are run at Man United. We already know that Rafael Varane is moving on from the club. We know that Martial is moving on from the club, so that's about 600,000 per week in wages
Wow.
that have been saved by just these two players leaving. So that's a massive amount off the books. We can reinvest that money somewhere else, somewhere smarter. So things do look optimistic, and I feel like before next season starts, when we do our predictions, I'm going to put United in the top 4 again.
Same.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
after
avoid
all
that.
of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of the questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for writing in. Let's continue with this United chat. It has been a fairly disappointing season for United, but a 2-0 victory over Brighton on the last day ended the season on a slightly positive note for them. Interesting thing was Casemiro hitting back at his critics, and in particular Jamie Carragher at Sky Sports, saying that it is a little disrespectful when they say I should retire, because this is what Carragher had said, that he is spent and he is not at his best and he should move on and maybe think about calling it quits. Casemiro said, when I signed, I was supposed to be the best signing in the Premier League, and now suddenly I'm reduced to nothing. I started well and had an injury and then had to cover at centre back. It's hard. Criticism is fine and it's welcome, but this is disrespectful and I have no respect for those people.
Was he ever the best transfer?
No, I mean, he maybe not on paper in terms of his performances, but to have somebody like Casemiro come in from Real Madrid, having won everything that he's won, when his signing was announced, I remember by and large, football fans were just like, okay, this is a good signing. Like, he is a little old, but he's not like so past his peak. And United needed somebody in that position, and it seemed like a very, very astute signing. And he has shown signs of that as well. I'm a little worried because a few episodes ago, when we had the boys from the United supporters group on, we released a reel talking about exactly this, where Animesh Thakkar from Football Bloody Hell said, we broke Casemiro. And then we kind of started talking about how Casemiro was done. That reel was one of our best performing reels. It went quite viral. So thank you everybody who shared it. I feel Casemiro's heard that or seen that reel, and he's also directing some of this hate towards us. So sorry, Casemiro. Galti ho gaya.
He's going to come and punch you now.
Yeah, I think he might. And I would not like to be on the end of that. So, maybe not. Shall we talk about some of the managers who are leaving? Because quite a few managerial changes happening. Of course, the big one being Jurgen Klopp, who had his send-off at Anfield yesterday. Arne Slot has been just officially confirmed as Liverpool manager, possibly the worst kept secret in football history.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we think of Arne Slot next season as Liverpool manager, man?
I don't know, man. For me, I still think I'm very sure that it's going to be a downhill for Liverpool.
It is going to be a little downhill.
It is.
That transition is not going to go well, and I feel like the writing's on the wall, because Virgil van Dijk has already said that it is scary when you are changing managers like this, but we will give him everything that we have. So, the word scary has been used.
And also, they've been used to the Klopp method for all these years, right? There's a way of how the club has been run, and because Klopp holds such a big place, it's that nobody can fill his shoes, sort of a vibe. And I don't know how welcoming they're really going to be.
No, they will, because I feel like Liverpool fans are also a very welcoming sort of fan base.
No, welcoming and saying not just literally letting him in the club, and I'm saying are they welcoming to change their methods of playing?
Yeah.
Because Klopp said we should do it like this because we've tried and tested it his way, and it has worked. So
I
I
don't
know.
We'll see. I mean, Klopp at Anfield after the game also chanted Arne Slot's name,
Yeah,
which was interesting, but really, was
Cute.
it necessary?
cute. It is fine. Yeah, it's for the
I'm just saying.
cans.
I'm just comparing him to Alex Ferguson because when Alex Ferguson was retiring in his
Why?
last match, he said, "Now your job is to back the next manager." As opposed to, you think Alex Ferguson chanting David Moyes' name would have been fucking atrocious. So I don't know. I don't know. We shall see
I feel
how that
like,
goes.
but I think how football has lots of cliches, and it's a very well-known fact that a manager is only as good as his last local derby.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
is
Oh,
Klopp any
yes.
good?
No, he's not. He's
Is he?
absolutely
Yeah.
not. He is
Yeah.
absolutely not. And that is definitely a saying, everyone. A manager is only as
Exactly.
good as his last local derby. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else.
The second half of that saying is a manager is only good as his last local derby, especially when the local derby is Liverpool versus Everton. That's the full saying.
Oh, that's a coming up game.
That's too mouthy. So I just stuck to the
Which is
catchy
why.
one.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. I mean, if we are going to do hot takes, there is a hot take that I actually do kind of believe in. Klopp's legacy at Liverpool, not that great. Not as great as Liverpool fans make it out to be.
I mean, look, Liverpool in the history of the Premier League, which is now what, 30-ish odd years old,
Yeah.
is the only one who delivered a Premier League trophy.
Yeah.
But that's a good enough legacy, I guess. It's all relative, no?
It's all relative. That is true. But I just keep thinking about the fact that 9 years at a club and one Premier League trophy. Of course, lots more other trophies, one Champions League as well, and a bunch
Yes.
of cups and everything. So 8 trophies, I think, totally, which is great. A lot more than what I can say for Man United, to be fair.
Yeah, and
But-
in this 31-year period of the Premier League, most successful era for sure, most finals. I know that
Yeah.
at the end it's the trophies that count, but most trophies as well, most finals, most
Yeah.
consistent second place finishes,
Yeah.
made City work for their title. This is all in this current era of the Premier League.
Yeah.
These are good things. So
These are,
he did well, but again, last local derby is all that matters.
Yeah.
Why are we even
I think-
talking about the trophies?
I mean, yeah, like you have a very valid point there. Of course, for Liverpool fans, I'll keep saying, हाँ पर एक ही Premier League जीता, मतलब क्या उखाड़ा है इतना? Because again, us United fans are used to the glory days of Ferguson, no, जहाँ पे bench हर हफ्ते हम लोग trophy जीत रहे थे, but it's not the case anymore. So these are the only small joys that we get by making fun on a very very slim thread of teams that are actually doing remarkably better than our own team. So there we go. Guardiola did give an emotional farewell to Jurgen Klopp, said that he made him better, that the rivalry was something that pushed both of them, the usual things and all. But what was interesting was Guardiola said, to be honest, I am more closer to leaving than staying. I'll be here next season for sure, but who knows after that? I am closer to leaving. It's happening. Eric Ten Hag बोला था ये when he came in, eras come to an end. Klopp गया, Guardiola जाएगा. Next up, it is Ten Hag's time.
जाएगा क्या पर? Because I
जाएगा.
feel like I saw a visual today which said Alex Ferguson's won 13 Premier League titles and Pep Guardiola has won 6. Pep is still young. He has 25 years more.
But it's
if
a
he
different.
wants to.
But it's a different ball game. No, it's a different ball game now because it's so much more intense right now. Like I remember when we started watching football, there was no social media or anything to constantly harass players and managers, constantly keep them on the edge. The only thing that players and managers had to deal with was the newspaper, the tabloids, right?
Yeah.
It was very, very well controlled and well managed. There was a degree of protection that both players and managers had. Now what we're seeing, and this is a completely different generation also, like that Ferguson, Wenger generation was also built different. And we see that with people we know on a day-to-day basis who are from that generation. They're just a different generation, right? This new generation is not that. We are seeing this so often. Bayern ke saath bhi hua when, Barcelona ke saath hua when Guardiola got tired. Like it was so intense for him, he had to take a sabbatical before joining Bayern. And this is something that he has regularly done. Now Klopp is doing the same thing where he said after 9 years, I am tired. I don't have the energy anymore. So it is very unlikely that we are going to see another manager who has the longevity of a Wenger or a Ferguson. 10 years, tops 12 is the most you're going to get out of a really good manager like a Klopp or a Guardiola. And I don't think that's enough to get where Ferguson is for Guardiola.
You also have more fixtures from that era to this now.
Lots more fixtures, and I
Lots
feel
more
like that's the
fixtures.
thing, right? Like with Guardiola saying that he's closer to leaving than staying, you can see that he's tired.
Yeah.
He's won a treble. He's won 4 Premier League titles on the bounce. He's done everything he has to do at that club. Like, how do you motivate yourself? And that is the one thing that a lot of people were in awe of Sir Alex Ferguson, because they were like, "Tu kaise kar raha hai ye every year? How are you getting this team to go on winning year after year? How do you keep them motivated?" So it is tiring, and I hope, fingers crossed, that he doesn't beat that record, because यार सब records तोड़ रहे हैं यूनाइटेड के, अभी एक तो बचा है, तो रहने दो.
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like where's he gonna go? The Italian league's not that exciting.
No, he's going to take a break, and he will probably manage Spain, but I don't think he's a national team coach.
Not at all.
But he'll take a break
He's
and
not,
he'll go somewhere else. Yeah,
Where somewhere else? See, I feel like City is a cushy job in this intense era with so many fixtures. He's the only one who's managed to do 4 in a row. Who's really going to fight him next year? It's not going to be Liverpool. They're going to be in a transitionary period. I'll be surprised if they make top 4. Arsenal, chalo theek hai. Arsenal will maybe give them a fight, but it's 2 seasons in a row that Arsenal have had a haath aaya par muh na laga feeling with this Premier League. Some point that fatigue might kick in. I think he's going to make it 5 in a row. He could make it 6 in a row. This is a cushy, well-oiled machinery. None of his players are actually really old. He might just sit back and enjoy the fruits of the seeds he's sown over the last 6-8 years.
yeah.
I think it's also the amount of other pressure that he has to face. Like, he knows that everything else that they have achieved. I think it's also now that, okay, can we now achieve after what is being said about City?
Yeah, I can
For me,
see
I also
yeah.
feel that I don't want to come around and to defend that. It is the club's job to do that. It's not my job. I'm still doing whatever I can. Now I can't be coming into the cameras to defending you guys even for that. I feel like there is that level of, if you guys get fucked, I'm also fucked with it alongside. So
I feel but I feel like I do tend to agree. I feel like Guardiola is not going to stay at City a lot more, because again, it's a fucking intense job, and he's somebody who gets tired very fast. He's a fantastic manager, one of the best in the world right now, if not the best in the world. But his track record shows that he does get tired. And as a United fan, I'm hoping that happens sooner rather than later, because Erik ten Hag, like I said, did say eras come to an end. And without the good performance of United, his statement will still ring true. So that will be
but he'll still do one more year, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Very quickly, the other 2 managers that are leaving are David Moyes leaving West Ham and Roberto Zerbi surprisingly leaving Brighton. Now, Zerbi said that they could not agree on a way forward in terms of his contract and how he wanted to handle things at Brighton, and therefore he decided to leave. It is going to be a big role that they're going to have to fill, because De Zerbi was looking really good for Brighton. Not this season, it was a bit of a drop off this season, but in general, De Zerbi was proving to be a manager who could take Brighton to the next level. In fact, all the Brighton fans were singing yesterday that they wanted him to stay, but that's not going to happen. Any thoughts of where he could end up? Bayern, maybe?
Is
take
he
another
good
break
enough?
too.
Is he big enough? Has he? I mean, after finishing 12th with Brighton, I don't think he's getting the Bayern job.
Yeah, but I feel like he's also a manager who has shown that he has the ideas, he has the vision to take a club like Bayern to the next level. And honestly, the next level for Bayern right now is winning the Bundesliga again next season, and that can only happen if they sell Harry Kane. But I feel like it could work. I don't know if he's the right fit.
I don't know.
But
I don't think he's the right fit for the German league, though.
Right. David Moyes then. Moyes at Bayern. That's the only way.
Oh my god.
That I would pay to see that happen.
Yeah.
That.
That would be fucking fantastic.
But I feel like Moyes will probably go to the newly promoted team that sacks their manager first.
Right. I think that is probably the level of Moyes right now.
And I don't think it's going to be Leicester. So
It's not.
between Ipswich and whoever comes up via the playoffs, I can see him going there once they pull the plug in like
Moyes to
November,
Southampton
December.
is actually quite interesting. I don't think Moyes will go to Leeds because he has done 7 months at Man United and Leeds and United are big rivals. So I don't think that is a move that will realistically end up happening. Leeds
I
fans
don't
will
see
also
that
not want
stopping him. Yeah.
it. No, not him, but I don't think Leeds fans would take kindly to David Moyes coming in, and the board will keep that in mind. I feel like Southampton is an interesting destination for him.
Yeah. Ipswich, man.
Possible.
I'd love him at Ipswich.
Kieran McKenna, man. McKenna's doing such a great job at Ipswich.
I know, but Premier League, I mean, newly promoted teams don't always necessarily stick to their guns.
It's the same thing as Luton Town, right? Like Rob Edwards did so well with Luton
Sure.
Town to get them to the Premier League. I don't think after being relegated, Luton are going to sack Rob Edwards.
Right, that's true.
So I feel like they'll stick with Kieran McKenna because he is going to be hot property. Other Premier League clubs are going to want him. And Ipswich will want to keep a hold of their man. Right, on that note, it is time to end this episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the Conflag. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought about this episode or any other episode, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Aakarsh on Instagram at,
Aakarsh Chandan.
you can find Prashant on Instagram at,
Prash224.
and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amogh. You can also follow the Corner Flag on Instagram and Twitter at @CornerFlagPod. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@CornerFlagPod. Hit the subscribe button, hit likes, comment on our videos, have fun. We interact with everybody on the YouTube channel. So please go over there and tell your friends to subscribe as well. Also tell them, and you also do that with Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Hit the follow or subscribe button on those two platforms and never miss an episode because they will be delivered right to your podcast feed. If you are an Apple Podcast subscriber, do click the automatic downloads button. In fact, do it right now. I'm watching you. Do it right this instant because that means you don't have to do anything. The episodes will just get delivered to your feed automatically. Shout out to Keza Garda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Aakarsh.
Bye.
Say bye, Prashant.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.